It's where the big stories live. This is Plus TV Africa, and you're watching Tea Time, the hottest entertainment news program. I'm Tokunbo Taiwo, and I'm here with the forever graceful and the forever forthright Ife Oshinkeye and Elsie Godwin. Hi, guys.
What's up? How you doing?
Why are you laughing? Are you not forever graceful?
Okay. No, I'd rather not say why I'm laughing. But you know why I'm laughing, right?
I know why you're laughing,
okay.
but you...
How are you?
Come on, I missed that inside joke.
You missed it.
Don't worry, she'll tell you about it right after the show, Ife. Anyway, I think we should move on quickly. So yesterday, you guys went for a rooftop party.
Yes, we did.
Tell us about that. Was it exciting? Was it busy?
Do we want to be sincere?
What?
Do we want to be sincere?
No, let's.
Okay. So it was really cool. We had fun.
Okay.
You know, the turnout was massive, though.
Okay.
Yeah, the turnout.
So,
well, that's the
that
truth,
one is
though.
the truth.
Yeah.
The turnout was massive. Like, so many people were there to have fun. So whether they had fun or not is left for them to decide. But they were there.
But did you have
Did
fun?
you have fun? Exactly.
I had to leave early because I needed to get some rest, to get prepared for this morning. And
I see.
Well, I was there till about 12 a.m.
Wow.
Well, trust Ife. Ife is usually the early
Turn
bird.
up king.
Okay.
But it was fun, though. Overall, it was fun. Yeah.
Okay, good. I trust.
But really, I think we should talk about Linda Ikeji.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
No, let's keep that for the afternoon.
said,
Let's keep that for the afternoon. Don't spill.
all right.
Okay, yes, I think I saw something about her, but yeah, right. We should keep that for the afternoon show.
Yeah.
Okay, so on today's episode, it's not all about the stories. Yes, it's not all about the stories this morning. It's all about our studio guest, and if you're wondering who she is, it's time to give you a quick glimpse into her life. She's a music minister, an ardent worshipper, a remarkable songwriter, CEO of M&M Studio. She's been described as the queen of Highlife, and she's also known for telling her 10-year testimony. She's so influential, so much so, she got a former president of the country to feature in one of her music videos, which has garnered to date just under 500,000 views. With singing experience that spans across 2 decades and with almost 48,000 followers on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the impressive, inspirational, and indefatigable Ibitayo Jeje.
Wow.
Indefatigable.
I was looking for that person.
Well, she's right here.
No, it's me. No.
It is you.
I was just looking for her.
So she's sitting right here with us. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
I'm glad we found out for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so where do we start? There's so many facets to you, so many angles to you, so many sides to your story. I think we should tell this 10-year testimony first of all, maybe before we even go on to anything else. I know you've told it like 1,000,001
Yes,
times, but I think
because
now
so many people draw strength from that.
And I think that
have.
testimony is now synonymous with your name. So
Yes,
perhaps you should, just in a as briefly as possible,
Okay.
because we have 1,000,001
I
things.
found out that each time I tell that testimony, it blesses a soul. You know, I've said the testimony over 1,000,000 times, like you said. But you know, for 10 years, I waited on God for the fruit of the womb. And 4 years into the marriage, the doctors confirmed to us that my 2 tubes were blocked.
Wow.
And God showed up after the 10th year. I missed my period for the first time in 10 years. And now God blessed us with bouncing baby boy. Well, I mean, 7 years ago, because the boy is 7 years old now.
Wow.
So so I know that God is still in the business of answering prayers, because I mean I'm just saying this to encourage someone who has probably given up on God and he just feels that there's no more hope. He's still in the business of answering prayers, because I mean God showed up even without having to go through any surgeries, any IVFs. I don't know how the tubes opened, but they shall open.
That was good.
Hallelujah.
So I mean that must have been God.
Okay, so like one of the interesting things about this story is the fact that like 2 years prior to you getting pregnant, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that you actually went to church to give the testimony about a child you hadn't yet had,
Where
and
did
someone.
you get all this?
So is that
Yes.
true? And
Yes, it is true,
And what
actually.
was
It is true. So
What was that
2
step of
years
faith
before
about?
I took him,
okay?
the Holy Spirit told me
You
that
know
I
what?
should
Sorry
start.
to interrupt, but
Okay.
can I just get you to hold on to that thought, hold on to that story? We'll
Okay.
talk about it more when we come back, but we need to go on a quick break. So time for a break, but when we return, we'll be talking some more to gospel artist Ibitayo Jeje. Stay right here.
I
It's where the big stories live. This is Plus TV Africa.
When I did it, I was full on, hands-on on the whole project.
So how did you deal with it? All of that negativity?
I got depressed, obviously. Duh. Haven't you heard?
I've got 2 of the hottest topics currently trending on social media. If you've seen the word Senate trending on Twitter, that's because the Nigerian police force has gone Trump style.
I probably haven't shared this with anyone, but I reckon I get about like 100 people asking for help a day. That's a fact. I can prove that.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa. Up next is a furtherance of our dialogue with gospel singer, songwriter Ibitayo Jeje. Now, before the break, you were telling us about your testimony, and you were going to tell us, specifically regarding the 2 years prior to you giving birth.
Yes, I heard the Holy Spirit say to me that I should start testifying of that which He was going to do in my life. I didn't understand how I was going to go about it. Because for me, I felt that, before you can start giving the testimony, then you should have like a proof. There has to be something you are showing to the people that God has blessed you with. That's the understanding that we all have. So, but I did it anyway. So before I minister, I'll tell people I've waited on the Lord for the fruit of the womb for 8 years, but I know that I'm going to come back to testify of the goodness of God in my life. I didn't know how that was going to happen, because at that time I wasn't even pregnant. So someone confirmed my doubts and came to me and said, look, sister, this thing that you are calling testimony, it is not yet a testimony yet, because you don't even have a proof. There is no baby to show. There is no pregnancy to show. So what are you testifying about? But sometimes we don't understand the dealings of God. And the way God deals with me is different from the way He deals with you.
So He confounded all of the intelligence surrounding the circumstances at the time.
God bless you, my brother. So, but I held on to that word, and I held on to that testimony, because I started seeing myself pregnant. I'll go back home, I'll put clothes in my tummy and stay in front of the mirror. And I'll be walking like a pregnant woman, and I'll do like this.
What was your husband's reaction?
Well, my husband is a pastor. And he's a fantastic man. So, and I call my waiting a very pleasant one. Because I didn't go through the stress women would normally go through while waiting for a child. He shielded me from all those attacks and all those, the drama that comes with the waiting process. In fact, my in-laws did not even know that I was the one that had the trouble. That my 2 tubes were blocked. No.
Wow.
He said, you don't tell these things out. You understand? So he shielded me from all the dramas that could have happened.
What about the
waiting.
stigmatization that comes with society? Like when you meet your old friends, so you've been married for 10 years, oh, it should be money,
You know me, I'm a very, very jolly person. I had my moments, but I didn't allow it to weigh me down so much so that I could not further with the things that I needed to do. I went about doing things that I had to do. Yes, because, of course, the man was also understanding to a point that he knew that we were just waiting, the baby was going to come. Do you understand? So we found ourselves on that page. We understood that it was just a waiting process. It was just a process that we were going to come out of.
Right.
Do you understand? So, and at times that I didn't even believe, he kept telling me that, look, this is just the doctor's report. What God says is the final. And that's what that we needed to hold on to. So we held on to the word.
And was that one of the reasons why, because it was so much of a long of a wait that you gave him 37 names when he eventually paid?
You this guy. Where did you get all your info from?
A little girl told
Are
me.
you Google?
But is that true or is that false? Because sometimes...
Wege's naming ceremony was like a concert.
Wow.
Everybody wanted to be there.
Okay.
Everybody had waited. Everybody wanted to name him. So he had lots of names. He had Yoruba name, he had Hausa, he had Igbo, Salama, you know. He had like 30-something names, like you said. Everybody wanted to be part of it, of the
So everyone gave their own name, their recommendation.
Oh, yes.
Wow. I think we should move on to your music now.
Yeah, no. I think we should even stay on the story because in one of your interviews, you actually said you went through a lot growing up, and you found solace in music.
Yes,
Do you want to take us through that journey of your childhood?
Okay, I went through a lot growing up, really. I don't even know where to start. When I was in secondary school, I didn't quite know my mother until I was about 10 years old. And I didn't quite know my dad too until I was about 10 years old. I actually used to relate to them as auntie and uncle.
Wow.
You know, because they had me when they were a bit young. You know, so you find out that we had like a clique of those of us that were in that category when we were in secondary school. People that didn't quite grow up with their parents. Right. So we had like a clique. So it was like it was in music that I found my own strength, because it affected me one way or the other. So those of us that were facing such challenges then, I saw it as a challenge then. Yeah. So those of us that were facing such challenges, we knew ourselves and we were able to relate with ourselves, you understand? But for me, I started singing. My father too is a musician. Yeah. He's one of the foremost gospel musicians in Nigeria. So you guys are good. You guys are very detailed. Yes, Reverend Bola Arolo. So for me, music was where I usually will just run to. You know, I started composing my songs very early. And that's why if you listen to the lyrics of my music, I try to sing about my experiences. You know, so my songs are songs that will affect me, will bless me, and will also bless you as well, because somebody might just be going through what I've gone through. So I just don't write based on, you know, sentiments. I write based on my experiences.
So what was the experience like being the lead choir at President Olusegun Obasanjo's altar chapel?
Well, I did that for a couple of years, and it just exposed me a bit more to life, basically, because you find out that the caliber of people that you see coming around, and there's just this small girl that is singing to those people. It just made me realize that God was taking me somewhere.
What inspired, you know, the kind of music that you do? Because it's a fusion of gospel and high life. So what brought about that? And that's not also a genre that a lot of artists go into. So how
especially female.
Especially female, exactly.
Yes.
So that was really quite ingenious of you to have done that, you know. And how did that come about?
Well, I didn't start off singing high life music.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, before now I'd done a bit of everything. I've been everywhere until someone heard one of my songs. And he said to me, I think you should be doing high life music. And I said, oh, really? Okay, and I went back, I started researching, started listening to a lot of high life music. And for me, high life music is eclectic. And with it, you can do a lot of things. You can sing love, you can sing society, you can sing everything. So for me, after doing that research, I went back to the studio to work on one of my songs that I recorded, and I produced it, the high life version of it. My God, it was as if I'd never sang before. Ooh. So I mean, the response from people
positive reviews.
It was amazing. So and I for me, I'm someone I'm a very, very, I love culture. Yeah. I love culture.
What does culture mean to you?
Can you answer that when we come
When
back?
we come back.
I think she's been saved by the bell. When we come back, it'll be time for more questions and answers with Highlife singer Ibitayo Jeje. That's all coming up when Tea Time on Plus TV Africa continues.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am. You no talk, dem go beat you. Na 2,500 I dey pay.
Welcome back. It's still Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa. And we're moving on in our conversation, our very interesting chat that is, with gospel artist Ibitayo Jeje. So before the break, Ife, you were asking her a question?
Yeah, so I wanted to know, what does culture mean to you? Because
Culture
you said you
means-
love culture.
It means abinibi. I mean, culture
Abinibi
is
atosability.
ability. So for me, I mean, culture is your root.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I'm a very, very natural person. You know, I'm very down. I'm a very, very down-to-earth person. So I love culture a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I love to listen to music, and I'm hearing talking to Madun, you know, give percussion, you know, that kind of thing. Ibile.
Yeah.
Do you
Let me
understand?
get your opinion on.
Are you Yoruba?
I'm not Yoruba,
She's
but
been lost all the times that
But although you
I understand all you said.
She understands Yoruba, so perfectly.
All right.
When it comes to being a Christian and a born again, you hear that we have to, some pastors will tell you stay away from secular music and make sure you listen to only gospel music.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that, or what do you believe that to be?
Well, I listen to some secular music
Okay.
because it is not all secular music that are bad.
Okay.
There are some secular music that that are inspirational.
Okay.
That's the word. There are some secular music that sing love. God is love. I have some love songs on my track, on my album. I don't see anything wrong in singing love songs. Do you understand what I'm saying? And there are secular music that speak to the society. There are some secular music that speak to the government. So, and for me, that is good news. So, I mean, but I will not listen to a secular song that is saying, Kinikon, Shebai, Kinikon. You know what I'm talking about.
All right, so that leads me
Kinikon,
to,
child.
what is your favorite secular music at the moment?
Ladies and gentlemen. I love that song.
Okay, that's
I
a
think
good
it's
song.
about time we discuss, you know, your legendary featuring of the ex-president, you know, of Nigeria. I think this interview would not be complete if we didn't talk about that.
know.
You know, so you had a relationship with him prior to actually having him to feature on the
video.
Yeah, so
Yes.
tell us about that and actually how it led to him being featured on the video.
Okay, well, ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo is like a father to me, and so it wasn't difficult approaching him when I wanted to shoot the video. We actually used his house. If you watch the video again, we used his house in Abeokuta. We also used his hometown in Ibogun. So those were the major places that we used for the shoot. So, I mean, if you have a father, you can walk up to him for anything now. So it wasn't really difficult to approaching him that I wanted him to. Although, even when I approached him, was like, So feel power you have video. Mama dem ba video and I'm like, no. I'm sure people will want to see your face. Say, and you know the crew I took there, they had fun because I mean he made them feel very welcome. And there was a scene where he was praying. If you watch the video, there was a part where he needed to pray for me. And when we're shooting the video, they said, okay, Daddy, Eba, pray for me. And he went on with the prayers. The director had to say, sir, it's okay, sir.
And he was even playing with the Ayo, with your husband, Ayo.
Yeah, but was that strategic in the sense that you wanted him to feature to maybe garner the views, or just because you knew him? I mean, what was the strategy behind, featuring him?
It was because of the song.
Okay.
Why You Love Me So. Yeah. I felt that it's a song that will appeal to the upper class people more. So I wanted that figure. I wanted that kind of figure in the video. So that is when people see the elderly ones, when they see the video, will be able to associate with it and say, oh, okay. That's basically.
I'm glad Tokumbo brought up the political aspect of you, because they say politics is a dirty game. So I want to know how your husband doubles as a pastor, because he's a pastor.
Me, I'm
he's
not
also
a politician. Why are you asking
and
me
he's
this question?
also a politician. So how does he double as a pastor and a politician? Because they say politics is a dirty game.
My brother, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It should be well off camera.
Spill some tea.
Seriously, politics is not easy. I can tell you that.
But
I can tell you that categorically. He's coping now.
Okay.
With all the corruption and all of that.
He's coping. We're all coping.
Okay. So you said you don't want Highlife to put you in a box, that you want to try out new music or come out with those kind of music that people don't really know you with. So are you working on something right now? Are we expecting anything new? That has
You have not heard the recent one.
R&B.
Have you heard the latest one?
No, I've not.
You have not heard the Jekajumo?
Yeah,
No. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I did listen.
Ife, sing it.
If that, like he always says to me, you'll be caught out.
No. I can't remember the lyrics, but I listened to it while I was doing my
Who
research.
featured in the video?
I'm not sure. Is that the one with Mike Harriman? No. Am I wrong?
No, you are wrong.
All right, let's move on. It's time to move on.
Okay, all right. So, if I said we should move on, and I think we should move on from your music, I want to gauge your response and reaction to people who actually bash certain aspects of Christianity, and with specific, maybe I should be specific. People like Daddy Freeze, who talks about, tithing and non-tithing, and, anytime one of the general overseers comes out to say one thing, you hear Daddy Freeze, he comes back to give his own lash out, So I wanted to gauge your reaction, because I know you're a spiritual person. You've had your 10-year testimony, and God talks to you in different kinds of ways that actually confounds people as well. So I was like, it would be interesting to sort of gauge your reaction to people like that, who actually come out every once in a while to say one or two things that, actually...
Every once in a while or all the time?
All the time. And actually, I was trying to be polite there, but trust if there to be as direct as usual. And then, he brings out all these kind of things that bring so much controversy, to his name and actually to the things that he's talking about. In particular reference to tithing. So your reaction to things like that and how he, what say you?
What say me? Okay. Well, like we said earlier, that God deals with us differently.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will not just come out like Daddy Freeze and talk like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I don't know how God is talking to him, because he says God talks to him too, and that he understands the scripture and all of that. The way we understand things can be very different. If you read a particular scripture now, the meaning that I'll have to it might be different from the revelation that God will give you. So we have different revelations. So his own revelation,
what he's doing.
That might be what he's doing.
But with regards to the revelations and stuff, sometimes you identify with certain things, and sometimes, you don't identify with that. So based on him, receiving his own revelation, would you say, you regard what he's receiving, or you disregard what he's receiving?
Well,
boxed in a corner.
If I was just smiling, I was like, don't you let her.
Oh. You smile. I know you are beside me if I jack you. Well, I disregard it, really.
Okay, thank you very much.
So let's talk about IVF. That's another issue that people talk about, and they tell you, oh, if your childbirth process is not natural, then it is you're not a woman enough.
Don't mind them, oh.
And you've gone through this. Yes, yours was miraculous. God came through.
Yes,
you know.
But there's nothing wrong with IVF.
Okay.
Please, there is nothing wrong with IVF. If your faith can carry it, to trust on God to have a child. Wait on God. He will show up. If you cannot wait and you have the money, you know IVF is expensive. In my own case, I suggested it to my husband. And he was like, do you know how much they are doing IVF? I mean, I said calculating in 1 point something million. By the time you put that on into business or you use it to do other things, you know, we reason differently. But some people, they will not even think about it. They want the child and they just want to do anything to get the child. And some even do the IVF. It is not an 100% chance that you're going to have a baby. It's 50-50. Some do it 3 times, 4 times, and they get a baby. Some do it once and they get it. But there is nothing wrong with doing IVF.
Okay.
And there are so many other things now that you can even do that can, you know, that can make you have a child.
Okay.
So
all right, we've only got 1 minute left. So, Ife, your final question?
Okay, so you're keen on professionalism in music because you feel a lot of people are not being professional anymore.
Yes.
So what would you define as professionalism, and would you call yourself a perfectionist?
Yes, I am. I am. I'm a very, very detailed person when it comes to production and all of that. And I think that over the years, we have really grown. We have really grown. I mean, our music, even gospel music is no big beans anymore. You understand? If you don't have correct money, you can't even do good production. So I think we have evolved over the years, and I just want to commend the efforts of those who are into music productions and the artists themselves, and kudos to them. We're not doing badly at all.
Okay, I think it would be fair.
Can you sing us out?
Yes,
it's Christmas too.
Which of my songs do people know?
This is Christmas.
You want to hear that?
God, you love me so.
But you know,
I love that God, you love me so.
Sing that one. That's the one we want to listen to.
You back me up.
We haven't got long, so maybe just a line. I think just a line.
Okay, let's do Why You Love Me So. When I say you love me too much, or you say Why You Love Me So.
Okay.
You love me too much, oh. Why you love? Calm down. Why you love me so? Yeah. You love me too much, oh. Why you love me so?
All right.
You love me too much, oh. One more time. Why you love me so? You love me too much, oh. Your part, oh yeah now. Why you love me so?
And that's precisely where we're going to wrap up. Yes, it has been absolutely fun talking to our gospel artist Ibitayo Jeje. We're going to wrap up now. Join us this afternoon for a brand new episode of the program. Until then, a big thank you to my co-anchors Ife and Elsie, the entire production team, and last but most certainly not least, our studio guest, gospel singer extraordinaire Ibitayo Jeje. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm Tokunbo Taiwo saying thanks for watching and have yourself a good day. Goodbye and God bless.